issue 1, black and white.
Wow, that's we're old. Thank you.
So what World of Ben episode are we getting? Where you started to think of what you like odd, strange, wonderful?
My first one's pretty straight, although it's good. I like it. But and that straight one has vampires.
Pirates?
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
But that's pretty straight. And then it's vampires and boats. That's not much. I haven't really. I mean, I have crazy ones, but they're not fully loaded yet. We always talk about the Golem. I've been talking about the Golem again. Yeah. That one's starting to bug me again, so it might happen. Yeah. Thanks for asking. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Good to see you.
We know that the angel numbers have dwindled. Is there any chance that Bobby might perhaps be recruited into the angel army?
Well, metaphysically, that would be an interesting. I mean, he could be conceivably employed by them or exploited by them, right? We would assume if his soul has gone to heaven, which is one outcome one might assume would happen when a ghost moves on. Yeah, the angels are down but not out for the count, basically, and they have had a lot of growing up to do. And in a way, they're another species who's been forced to grapple with free will, and it's really been a real problem for them. And now they have to figure out what they want to be now. And Cass is a part of that, whether he wants to be or not. And we know that the angels actually have only occasionally had humankind's sort of interests in mind. So when they start to arrange themselves around a new agenda, we'll have to wait and see what that is and how dangerous it is to our people. Oh, I just made a crap load of sense. I hope everyone appreciates it.
The brothers' relationship has constantly evolved over each season. So what are we going to see this season? And as a writer, is it fun for you to find new ways to tap into that relationship after so much time?
It's sort of crucial, I think, yeah. I mean, they do a lot of role shifting and reversal and mirroring of each other and things like that. I've been saying, I think it's true that Jeremy, one of the things brought was this idea of, and Bob's here too, this idea of being very close to the relationships the guys get. Because we've been to the moon and back about 4 times. So, everyone's a distance away, everyone's small. It'd be good to get these people that Sam and Dean are saving or fighting, all these things, the human element of this universe, get them really close again, so that when people start to be hurt or threatened, we feel another body of character energy. Because we depopulated this universe. That's one of the things Supernatural does. I learned to embrace it because it does actually do one thing, which is it brings the notion of television death and actual death to the fore, and the difference between the two. It's an interesting place to find a discussion. Anyway, that was good too. Keep going.
There's a lot of mythology in the show. Supernatural's covered things from religion, witchcract to gods, monsters. Is there a particular mythology that hasn't been incorporated into the show that you would personally like to see make it this season or beyond?
I've been interested in, I don't know if they have a special interest group that comes to your house and gets mad, but I like the Kabbalah right now because we're working in a lot of almost there's coding to the universe going on as part of what we're there's some things that are really interesting, and that to me, so I started to read up on that last year. There's some things on it in it that I think are of use. I always I think, we don't do a lot of shamanism and things like that, like primal magic and things like it. Primal human magic. What we have is a lot of extra entity magic and things like that. But there's something like that to play with. I mean, it's a good question. Yeah, I think I've lost it. Good, right.
Last season, the overall theme was about dealing with the people that they relied on, the things that they relied on, getting back to basics. things.
Right.
What would you say this season?
This season, we just take away their shoes. They're ready for it. They walk around. Ow! Ow! This tar is hot, Dean. How big is this parking lot? Sam, we have to keep going. Sam, I can't carry the ring, Sam, but I can carry you. Along those lines. No, like, in a way, taking stuff back requires giving stuff back. And that's part of why the relationships, the closeness, it's new, this is, a forest fire comes, new trees have to grow, new ground, new things, life returns, or the story ends. So this is that time. But then also demons, and look out, get down.
Will we see the see the physical embodiment of God appear? In the season?
I love that this is a show where that question comes up. Not for the first time. I don't think, personally, I feel like Chuck was the biggest Tolkien in the history of humankind. He was a thought projection. Didn't get a human face. Otherwise, yeah, that's weird. I think that a localized expression of God is sort of somewhat primitive, and that we probably, if we do anything, that's why the Kabbalah to me is interesting. It's like God is in the details, although the devil's in the details too. That's weird. But yeah, I think between this season and when we pull the ripcord, we will be discussing God more, because it turns out we're trapped. Like, we've got a massive God machine. That's what this show is about. Two people stuck in a God machine. Was he our friend, or she our friend, or was this just a terrible college hazing? Are we going to get in? So that's kind of, it'll come up. I guarantee you.